So funny today. Dropped off my little girl at school. We were talking. I don't know how it came up, but I was like, okay, so what year is it? And she's only 6. So anyway, she's like, it's May. She's like, no, that's the month. What year is it? And she's like, it's Wednesday, the 17th. And I'm like, it's the year 2023. Oh yeah, she says. Oh yeah. May, what is today? 16th, 17th? We couldn't remember. 2023. So I said, yeah. It's been 2023 years since when? She goes, what do you mean? It's 2023. And I was like, no. That's 2023. It's just a different way of saying 2023. And she got it. And then I was like, well, why do we count? What happened 2023 years ago? She's like, I don't know. And I go, well, that's when we think Jesus was born. Making it easy. We know there's a minus year and a 0 year and this and that. Calendars and schmalendars. But it's been 2023 years since Jesus was born. So the whole world is, and I didn't say anything about China and whatever other places that are counting their own crap. But I was like, it's been 2023 years since Jesus was born. And we've been counting the years ever since then. And she was like, why? Why are we counting the years? And I was like, well, we're probably counting the years because we're counting the years until he comes back. I mean, why else are you counting the years? And now this is stuff that I'm thinking to myself. I didn't say in the rest of this. And I was like, I imagine, Constantine and all that, and the Council of Nicaea, right? I mean, at some point, I don't know when they decided, hey, we'll change the calendar and start counting from AC or AD, Anno Domini, the year of the Lord. I don't know. But I think in my heart, I'm imagining, they were probably counting up to 1,000. Because most, after the church, the early apostles' teachings and their disciples about 3 generations later, all taught pre-tribulation rapture, all taught 7-year tribulation, the tenets of the earliest church. You go watch Ken Johnson, you go look at the Dead Sea Scrolls, and you will see that the earliest of teachers taught premillennial, that Jesus would return and have a millennial reign on earth for 1,000 years. That's taught by all of them. But then, once it got to be an organized religion, and Constantine made it the Church of Rome, and now we're talking the Nicolaitans, the Nicolaitans, and everything came in. I think they started counting because they were amillennial, right? They believed they were in the millennium. And so they were counting up to 1,000 years until then the church would have done its job on earth. And they interpreted all the scriptures onto themselves that are reserved clearly for the nation of Israel. And then placed it on themselves, replacement theology, which is crazily still going even today, even after Israel's back. But I think they started counting to try to showcase, all right, we've done 1,000 years of the church here on earth. And then they pushed it and they pushed it and they pushed it. Like, okay, maybe then we'll start at 70 AD and okay, 1070. Well, okay, maybe it was all the way up to the Council of Nicaea. Let's go to 1300. Nope. But I think this is my gut telling me. The reason they started to count from Jesus is to try to get to the 1,000 year mark. Well, we blew the doors off that sucker, didn't we? And I'm going to tell you right now, that type of theology creates horrible humans. Dude, in their mind, dominion was theirs. Kill or be converted to Christ and go. That was the dark ages, man. Having a religified Christianity is poisonous. In fact, Paul talked about it. Even before he died, he knew wolves have crept in. All right? Before he died, in his letters to Timothy and other things that he mentioned at the end of most of his letters, you can tell by the end of his life, he was like, this guy abandoned me, this guy abandoned me, and wolves have crept in. The enemy came in and hid himself inside of Christianity. And they're going to do it here in the end. Face of a lamb, appearance of a lamb, but a mouth of a dragon. That's what the enemy is. So the idea of church now, kingdom now, even though I do believe in full authority in the name of Jesus Christ, I think there's some amazing teaching that has occurred from a lot of kingdom now type people that have delivered power. I believe that big time. It's a power that we've lost, and there is a part of that movement that retaught the authority you have in Jesus Christ here on earth. I believe that, but not to bring in the millennial kingdom where the church is the king on this earth. That happens and is reserved for Jesus. And guess what? Who does he put on the throne? Not the church. We rule and reign with Jesus. But he puts David on there. He's going to come back and David will come too, and he'll exercise some amount of authority. I mean, Jesus is the king, but he's gonna let David do some cool stuff, and we're like the queen. The church is the queen. Oh, that's just so funny. There's no better drag show than the church. We're the queen of heaven. I don't know if anybody's ever said that. But, see, I'm kidding. I mean, but it's funny. We're all queens. Anyway. I don't know how I'm going to recover from that one. That's funny. Oh, man. You couldn't say that. I'm broadcasting it out to the world. But, I mean, if you were just like in a conversation with somebody and you said that, 50% would get it, 50% would not, and be super offended. But anyway, so then now when eventually it's like, okay, Martin Luther and Calvin and Wesley's and the greats of that next time were like, this isn't right. And and I don't know. I don't know Luther's eschatology too well, because he was pretty messed up when it came to the Jews. I don't even want to mention the bad things that he said. But then Calvin and all of them, they're all like really anti-Semitic. Let's just put it that way. Because they had to, man. I mean, every generation, in a way, blindly, your own selfish life, the way you read scripture and the way you interpret things, it's always narcissistic. That's about me. When in reality, you have to rightly divide the word. There is a ton of scripture that's not about you. It's for you to learn. The whole thing's written for you, but not all of it's written about you. If you haven't heard that statement, it's a very important statement about reading the Bible. And then you have to rightly divide the word. chopping it up in dispensations and understanding God's promises. And when you then put your Jesus goggles on and see that most scripture was about him, not you, then you can understand the word. So anyway, then, okay, now let's go back to talking to my daughter. Then I was like, so it's been 2,000 years. He should be coming back any time now. And she was like, but I'm just a kid. And I went, yeah, I know. You're going to be like the kids in Narnia. When the lion comes back, you'll be given a crown. And you're going to reign with God in the sky and on earth. Oh, yeah, cool. And then she was like, why do they call the fallen angels fallen? Oh, no, before I said, and then I was like, yeah, but Jesus, he's going to come back and he has a job to do. He's got to come back and kill the dragon. Who's the dragon, she said. And I told her, I said, it's Satan and the fallen angels. She goes, oh, okay, well, who are the fallen angels? And I said, those are the ones that got kicked out of heaven. And Jesus has a job to do, but it's not our job. I told her, it's not your job to worry about that. Your job is to be protected by the king. Your job is to get married to the king. Your job is to be loved. And then she goes, and to spread love. I went, that's right. That's your job. Our job is not to slay these monsters. We just get to be blessed and watch Jesus do it. And then I told her, it's not going to be hard. When he's ready, he'll just say the word and they'll all be swept away. And she's like, well, why doesn't he do that now? And I said, well, and we pulled right up into her school. And I said, look at all these kids running around. There's more to be saved. There's more. God wants more and more. He's huge. More children. It's been 2,000 years. And so here we are, right here at the end of things. And then we kind of, even before all that, we were talking about how, I was like, look at all these cars. Look at all these, this electricity. Like, it's only been the past 100+ years that cars, electricity, your games, everything that you, television, radio, everything that you have, it's only been 100+ years that we've had all this stuff. It used to be horse and buggy. Everybody had to have a horse, and you lived by horse and fire. For all of mankind's time. Not just, well, there was a little season of this and there was a little season of that. Dude, really think about it. All of humanity was dependent on the horse and fire. That's how everything, that's how we lived. It's only been up to the very last time that we see this stuff. What a crazy generation we live in. What a crazy time we live in. Now maybe antediluvian, the times like, Noah and Lot, maybe pre-flood there was Atlantis and it was crazy amounts of technology. It's most likely true. But, whatever. My point is, it's all been horse and buggy and fire, man. And now I'm thinking to myself, like, how Jesus talks about, I'll come and my return is soon, and he'll be coming soon. If you look at a lot of those terms, soon, in the New Testament, it's the Greek term where we get the tachometer for revving up and basically insinuating like an exponential. So when it comes, it'll come fast. And that's exactly the time we live in. Every aspect, from national debt to population growth to all the climate change stuff to money, inflation, everything is whoop, is exponential growth. It's so doubling, tripling, quadrupling, 100x. That to me is like, that had to happen. And now we're right on the edge. All right. So you got, let's say you got to me, I'm Feast of Trumpets, dude, all the way. But I'm not gonna, I'm not an imminency guy anymore either, because it just doesn't make sense to everything about appointed times that God has talked about throughout the entire Bible. And it couldn't have been imminent because of all the stuff we just talked about. There was 2,000 years to go after he left. I mean, the Great Commission, if you want to call that for the church, the time of the Gentiles, Jerusalem be treaded down, and then there's Ezekiel. Like, how is that stuff fulfilled without the 2,000 years of the church age? So it had to be until now. Now we're here. Okay, so now that we're here, Israel's back. All the chess pieces are in place. The tachometer of every aspect is exponential. Could it be imminent where it happens any day? Look, no, I still think it's appointed time, and it's clearly a Feast of Trumpets, but that's my opinion. Doesn't matter if Dr. Barry Awe is right or some other guy is right, and it's going to happen next week. And oh yeah, the signs are right this time. All the signs in the sky. Let's go, baby. Because that's all I care about, really. So we only have a short period of time. So you better do a video. You better write your book. You better say, I love you, and forgivenesses, and pave the way out of your life. But even that probably does. I mean, just for your own peace. There's a couple that I still haven't done. And I don't know how to say sorry or heal certain relationships. I just don't know how. I feel like maybe some from the family and what has happened over the past 4 years, some of it might be just on earth broken and then healed when the Lord gives us glorified bodies, and then we're all family reunion style. But here on earth, I understand if you can't go say you're sorry and it's tough, or you can't even get an audience with some family members. And I've been totally cut off just because of the thought that they think I might have against the rainbow, against identity crisis, against the needles, and against DNA changing, and against all that stuff, okay, that I saw coming a mile away. And if you had been woken up in 2015 with the blood moons and Shemitahs and like, whoa, okay, and Revelation 12 sign, like, if you had been woken up during that time, which I was, for about eschatology, that was right when I said, okay, I have to dive in and figure this out for myself. If you had already been woken up, you could have seen the agenda coming a mile away. And I stood up against it pretty hard and got cut out swiftly, not to be healed. And so maybe the Lord just, but I get visions and prayers that it will heal. But I'm not so certain it'll happen on earth. But I don't want to close that book either. So yes, Lord, if it comes, okay. Anyway, I think a lot of us have experienced that. I'm not going to force it, but I will accept it. In Jesus' name, bring it. It's your will, okay? And his will is love, mercy, healing, health, wholeness, peace. All the things that encompass the word shalom.